All right, this shows that I'm actually drinking coffee on stream today. So how about that? Good morning. It is 9 a.m. straight up on March 16th, 2023. This is Windows Daily number 176. I'll get an audio confirmation here by unmuting that. I'll get an audio. Perfect. Perfectly executed. Audio check. Then I'll make this chat room big and full, turn on my picture in picture. First comment I'm seeing there from Dennis. I watched the end of your Fortnite stream after the fact. My viewers watched it live. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Dennis excused himself to go to little boy's room at the end of my Fortnite stream, and I finished my quest. I was all done. He wasn't back yet. So I wound up ending my stream, but staying in Fortnite. So I was still audible on his channel, thinking that I was just seeing if he came back so we could say goodbye, not realizing that I was still on his channel, audible. No, I didn't say anything embarrassing to anybody. Nick Pulverman, you can't use beef stew as a password. It's not strong enough. For all those Dougs out there who didn't get that, it's a play on words. It's not strong enough. Ida Rivera, whoever said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results has obviously never had to reboot a computer. And Rick Lakes, hello, it's snowing here again. Greg M. told a home user, no, I cannot make your old HP inkjet printer that is 10 plus years old work on Windows 10 because HP removed the printer drivers, getting them a brother laser instead. Now, I would not jump to that assumption. I'm suspect that Greg M has checked it out further and knows that to be the case in this instance. The reason why I would not assume that is because a 10 plus year old printer driver, when you go to the HP website, you may not find printer drivers there for Windows 10, but the printer driver might be built into Windows 10. So then connect the printer by USB cable and Windows should automatically install the driver. And if this person is calling, complaining that the printer's not working, it could be for some other reason other than the driver. But I'm guessing that in Greg's case, he's already been through all of that and knows that this printer is just not working with that computer. Now, the other slight possibility is to pick a very generic inkjet printer driver of Brothers. It's very, I don't know, generic, I guess is what I'm saying, and see if that'll work. I have had that work sometimes where picking a driver that Windows does not automatically select will work, and maybe there isn't all the functionality that you would expect out of that printer, but it would work. So those are just some comments triggered from that instance. I doubt that changes the story for Greg at all, but it's worth having that conversation about printer drivers in general. Then coming back, William Dawson says hello from Florida. Mike Wojcik, good morning, good afternoon. Selden Ball, 42 degrees Fahrenheit. What do I have? I have 48 degrees currently, expecting a high of 65. Audio good on YouTube. Nick Poverman, has anyone besides me had problems with the HP Smart app to install a new printer in Windows 10? It is supposed to download correct drivers. I wish it would just let you download the drivers. I have found the newer HP printers to be a nuisance, and I usually do not follow their instructions because their instructions are trying to get you to do the subscription for monitoring the ink and do not AirPrint, but wireless printing. I don't want any of that. I just want normal printing through a USB cable, and I found that I have to jump through some hoops to make that happen. And probably, I think the way that we usually will work is to go to the HP website, look through their printer drivers, and get the print-only driver, or I don't remember what it's called specifically, but I don't want to get the all-inclusive print driver that is really large. I want to get just the, sometimes called print and scan, depends upon whether you have a scanner. And if you're using USB cable, that's the ideal way to go in my mind. I had one a couple months ago, and I think I talked about this on the show. is the instructions were kind of forcing me, the whole installation process was forcing me to select to do wireless printing or USB printing or network printing. And the user was interested in wireless printing, but what I discovered is that if I configure it for wireless, it will not work through Ethernet or through USB cable. Now, I didn't spend a whole lot of time making it work both ways, but I did come across some piece of documentation that significantly implied that was the case, that you can only use one of the methods. Very, very unpleasant. Ken Stout says, good morning, good afternoon. Ken, is it time to make you a moderator again or even managing moderator? Some people might be disturbed to see your name in gray or black, whatever that's called. Rick Lakes, hello. Steve Dodd, hello. Selden Ball. Nick Poverman, the HP driver is not available for this printer, only the Smart app on their website. Was that, no, this was Greg M. So Nick was referring to, problems with the Smart app. So is that an app on a phone? When you use the word app, it usually indicates a phone, but apps can be Windows 10 as well. The HP driver is not available for this printer, only the Smart app on their website. Does that printer even have a USB connection? And what printer is it? Let's go look at it. Let's go have a look at that. Good day to all from Zivi Manor. LOL, yup. I guess that means yup. Moderator, please. And from here, I can directly make him a standard moderator or a managing moderator. Now, managing moderator, the only management things you can do, I think, are from a cell phone. I had to reinstall my mom's HP 6830 printer software for Windows 7. They tried to install some Smart software. Never liked the Smart software stuff. It's always about them getting more of what they want. Well, all right, that's a little exaggeration, but anyway, don't like them much. I'll be saying, hello, my parents have to buy a new TV. And Ken Rick, I hate to read that we going to get rain later, which is vogue as to what it actually does. What is VOG? What is VAGE? I don't know what that word is. What is VOG? Sunny here, Lawn Dog, looking for a clarification. What is vague? What is vague as to what it actually does? Which is vague as to what it actually does? Good to see you again. Sunny here. Hello. Catherine Anna Hausman. Hello. Ida, that's what happened when I'm the first on your list to block Ken Stout Live. That's what will happen when I'm the first on your list to block. Oh, yeah, because Ken on his channel, he was experimenting with blocking users and he was picking on Ida. He was blocking Ida. Just as somebody to experiment on, of course. I wanted to write you, Ken, but can't find time. Don't know. Is the man in gray? Oh yeah. Now he's the man in blue. People saying, hello, me and my parents found a good deal for $298 for a new TV. That's what that would be. A guy who can't spell around here? Who knew it? Who would have thunk it? Good afternoon, Ken. Hola, buena verte. How did I do pronouncing that? Hola, buena verte. Verte. Can I roll that R? Verte. I think that's close. Nick. DougBetts, here's the link for printer drivers. Full disclosure, I never did block Ida. Okay, let's go look at this as a diversion rather than what I was planning to talk about today, because what I was planning to talk about today was not a big deal. Software and drivers for LaserJet M209 DW printer. This looks familiar, like I've come across this printer before. Install Smart App to complete setup and support. In diagnostic tool fixes, installation software, full basic driver supports print scan functionality only. Installation software and full/basic driver supports print and scan functionality. So click on this plus sign. And here we have Easy Start Printer Setup software only. Notice the size of that one. Notice the size of this one. Easy Start Printer Setup software, internet connection required for driver installation. Right. Printer firmware. That would be for updating the printer firmware, which would be a good idea because I've come across situations where the firmware coming out of the factory, they discover there's a problem to some basic functionality. So if they've got a firmware update for it, good thing to do. So would either of these be of use? Easy Start Printer Setup software, offline use only. So this isn't going to have, this doesn't require internet connection. Now, is this one different than this one? Install HP Smart App to complete setup and support. Smart App will help you connect, yada, yada, yada. Click here to learn how to set up your printer successfully. Creating an HP account and registering is mandatory. So it's mandatory if you use this method. This is their recommended method, not required. Okay? HP Smart App, not required. It's recommended. Do one of these methods down here. Let's see, that was Nick. Neither one works. I updated the firmware. Neither one works. So he's saying neither of these two work. Let's see, here's 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing 3 alternatives, a Smart App. So is he implying that neither of these would work? So what is going wrong? What happens when you try? And let's go look at some detail about that. So click there, installation of full software. So the full solution software includes everything you need to install and use your HP printer. This collection of software includes a complete set of drivers, installer software, other administrative tools, updated some basic information and installation screen. File name there, and then if we see full details, what else does it tell us? Offline use only. Well, does that mean you can't be connected to the internet? That would be weird. The full solution software, everything you need. Fixes. Oh, well, this is what was fixed in that version. Going back to see if he's given any more clarification. None of the option works. It fails to print. All right. So if none of the options work. Okay, now what do you mean by options? I don't know what you mean by options. Is that these two driver installation methods don't work, or is that options that you come across when you're actually doing the installation and it won't print? Could there be something else preventing the printing from working? How about a self-print test page? Just from the buttons on the printer itself. Can you get a self-print test page to verify the printer itself works? Fails to print. And going back up here where I left off, no worries, good to see you finally. It will happen just to keep you updated. HP Smart App is not that smart many times. Neither one works. Yup. Yep. I pronounced that wrong. It's not yup, it's yep. I updated the firmware. That's what I saw at the HP website. And Smart App. What do you tell us about the Smart App? It's one of the choices you did, one of the options. I have tried all the options from the website. The self-test does work, but from the printer doesn't work. How about when you connect the USB cable? Does the printer give you an indication that the printer is online? Do you get a, in control printers, does it show up in control printers? Can you get to the see what's printing page? Does this page show up normal and without a use printer offline indicator? Can you manually take it offline and then put back online, just trying to narrow down what specifically is not working to see if there's something else to do. He says Windows sees the printer. And so if you disconnect the USB cable, Windows says that it's not connected. And then when you reconnect it, it comes back to connection. Tried all the options. Self-test works. None of the options work. It fails to print. Are you trying to print from an application, or do you go into printer properties and then click the print test page? If you're printing from an application, maybe there's something going on wrong from the application. Has this computer previously been able to print to another printer, a prior printer? Let's go see what else Nick has told me. Nick Poverman, get to all of Nick's stuff. Let's see, go to his first comment. You can't use beef stew. And then the next one, has anyone besides me had problems with the HP Smart app to install a new printer in Windows 10? It is supposed to download the correct drivers. I wish they would just let you download the drivers. So what we've learned since then is it's not just the Smart app that he's having trouble with. He's having trouble with the other printer drivers too. So I'm going to suspect that whatever the trouble is you're having with the Smart app, that's not the source of the trouble. The source of the trouble is whatever else is causing the problem with interacting with that printer. Then here, the HP driver is not available for this printer, only the Smart app on their website. Well, we've seen that's not the case because we see these other printer drivers here. It's not just the Smart app. Yeah, these are not the Smart app. Smart app's up here. These are not the Smart app. So I think that is not true. Then what else do we have from Nick? Here's the link for the printer driver. So we went to that. Neither one works. And he updated the firmware. And when he says neither one works, that's kind of confusing to me because he says it requires the Smart app, but then he's implying that he's already tried these that are not the Smart app. Well, why are you saying it requires a Smart app when that's not true? So I'm confused on that. None of the options work. It fails to print. I've tried all the options from the website. Self-test works. Windows sees the printer. Tried 4 different computers with that printer. Well, maybe it's a bad printer. That's a thing. Can you return the printer? On the 4 different computers, has that been with different cables? Oh, here it is. Tried 3 cables that work fine on an older printer. Oh, maybe the printer's just defective. How about connecting the printer through a different method? That's all USB cables you've been using. So does it have an Ethernet cable option or wireless? And can you try that? Although I'm feeling very attracted to returning the printer as defective. I've seen Doug's video blink black several times. Do others see this happening? Yes. When I am showing the chat window, it will blink. It blinks black, and I'll call it out when I see it. There, that was black. And then wait black. And that was a very short blink. Waiting. Here it comes. Come on. Bing, blink. That was a blink. I'm trying to say the blink as fast as it blinks. Doug says, nope, looks fine. Oh, I do see a blink. Nick, works over the network, but this needs over USB, single user. Sounds like you got a defective printer. You've updated the firmware. You've tried different cables on different computers. That's enough. Either call their tech support or just return the printer. Like if it's an Amazon return that you can return with no questions asked, and just I'd say it's time to return it, or call the tech support for the manufacturer. It's a brand new printer. You've made that case, and this sounds like it's a problem with the printer because you've established it's not just the Smart app. I'm still curious why you started out saying that it requires the Smart app when it actually doesn't. Maybe USB port has a problem, not the port on the computer, but the port on the printer. I'm thinking the USB port on the printer might have the problem, even though when you plug the cable in, the computer recognizes that the printer is there. That doesn't mean everything about that connection is functioning properly. It could be the circuitry, the PCB, the printed circuit board in the printer has some other flaw regarding the USB connection. So yeah, port on the printer. All right, so I'm going to go to one of the topics that I had queued up. Nick's got one more thing here. All of those drivers on the HP website use the Smart app in Windows. Oh, really? All right, that's what you meant. That's curious. It certainly doesn't imply that with all of this. Easy Start printer software, offline use only. So you're saying this all takes you to the app and forces you to use the app. I remember last time I was hunting around for a printer for somebody, I spent some time trying to find a printer that did not require the subscription account because I didn't want that. So it might be anytime we see this easy start, is the easy start phrase going to be requiring the app? Thank you for that response, because you've answered my question. You're saying all three of these require the app, even though this one up here, install HP Smart App to complete setup and support, recommended. So what is different about this option over these other options? Let's see, if I click that X, that collapses it, collapses them all. So installation software driver includes print, scan, latest features, and solutions. So that implies these other options don't include, well, maybe this one doesn't include scan. This one claims scan functionality only. So that implies that this one has other features and solutions that these two don't have. But these two still require that Smart app. Do not like that. Dennis says, my graphics go black. I lose audio occasionally when my air conditioner stops drawing a load. Graphics returns afterwards. How about putting a surge protector or even a battery backup that filters the voltage? Even a basic surge protector might prevent that. I'm guessing that you're plugged directly into a wall outlet, or you might be on a power strip that is not a surge protector. And even if it is a surge protector, surge suppressor, over multiple experiences of power outages, they wear down and may no longer be providing that surge suppression. Hello, Chris Garrett. On Dog, check to see if there's something in the USB port on the printer, like a piece of paper, shipping debris. Blast it with some air if you have it. My inclination is if the computer's recognizing that it's attached and detached, highly unlikely there's something in the USB port, but possible. I'm more thinking there's something defective about the printer. Gary to Nick, are you getting an error when you try to print? That's a good question. Does the print job show up in the print queue, and then does it just sit there forever and never get to the printer? Is there a message? Is there a print or error message in the print queue? Is there a pop-up message that gives you some kind of an error? Those are good. That's good questions, Gary. Is that HP printer listed in Device Manager? Good point. You go down, right-click on the Windows button, and then Device Manager. And I know Nick knows about this. And then go to printer. Oh, I have other devices. Bluetooth peripheral device. That's interesting. Oh, I don't have any printers set up on this. That's why I don't even have the printer category, because I don't have any local printers attached to this computer. I don't even have a network printer configured. So I'm not going to be able to show that here. You may be able to just download and install the installation software and skip the stupid Smart app. I don't think so. He's already done that. I think Chris got in late. Yeah, he says hello at 9:21. So he missed some stuff. Yep, he's already tried that. It doesn't work at all. All three of the different printer driver options require the printer app and automatically install it. There is no scanner in this printer. I have HP printers, never use the smart app. Yeah, well, some HP printers require it. Now the newer ones do. Nick Poverman, Windows sees it in Device Manager, but not in printers. Oh, that's interesting. It's not showing up in printers. So that driver is not completely installed. The printer is not completely installed if it's not showing up in printers. That again takes me back to a defect in the printer. You are having a voltage dip. That's in relation to Dennis's question, I think. The print queue never shows up over USB. Yeah, well, if the printer is never showing up in control printers, then yeah, there's no print queue. You can't even attempt to print. You can't even do a test print if it doesn't show up in control printers. Printer may also be in imaging devices. AC is plugged in wall outlet. Computer's going black. Is plugged into another wall outlet in the room without any kind of surge protector. Might get a surge protector. Yeah, that sounds like it would be likely help you with that. Does it have an HP toner cartridge? But yes, it does, because he was successful at doing a test print from the printer. Using the buttons or the control panel on the printer, he's able to do a test print. Oh, is it a genuine HP toner cartridge? That's the question there. Is it a genuine HP toner cartridge? Well, it's brand new out of the box. It says yes, new out of the box. Chris, check imaging devices and device manager. To Lawn Dog? He's directing that to Lawn Dog? Lawn Dog's not having the problem, right? It was Nick. Yeah, it's Nick Poverman that's having this issue. And Lawn Dog says, okay. AC is 115 volts. We are returning it. Yay! Going to return it. I did not see any shows scheduled for Ken Stout. Ken Stout, do you confirm that? You do not have a show coming up? Some models of power strips include power line filters in addition to surge protectors. I'll come over here and check on Ken's show to see if he's got a live or a premiere. Nope, nothing scheduled. So I'll go a little bit over time. I'm going to go over to the confirmed. He's saying, what, Ken? What are you confirming, that you do have a show scheduled or you don't? I see that he doesn't. How does he know not to give more information? So I had 2 emails this morning that I thought was worth responding to, but the second one's going to take too long because I don't want to go much past 30 minutes. This email came in, the subject line, what is dementia and can you prevent it? So my thought here, how many agree with me, this email coming to Doug is a day late and $1 short. Self-deprecating humor, if you didn't get that. What is dementia? Can you prevent it? Too late. I already have it. Okay. You said to confirm if I have a show scheduled or not. So you're confirming that you have a show scheduled or not. Pow, Alice. Ken Stout, such a Ken. Your healthcare provider just keeping you informed. Testing to delete this. The normal AC voltage 120 to 125. So the other thing that I was going to look at is this other email here. Cybersecurity tip, don't store passwords in your browser. What is wrong with this email? Coming from Ophira Sampson from Storage Guardian. Don't store passwords. There's so many things wrong with this email. I don't know if I'm going to go through all of them. Hi, Doug. Storing passwords and credit cards in your browser is not ideal for 2 reasons. First, anyone who snoops around your computer can log into the accounts you have. I agree with that completely. If you store passwords and credit cards in your browser or in your password manager, which they don't say here, somebody can walk up to your computer and access any of your websites that you have stored in your password manager or your browser. But they're implying here that the only case where it's a concern is if you store passwords and credit cards in your browser. Anyone who snoops around your computer can log into the accounts you have. Well, that implies that if you don't store your passwords in your browser, that they're not going to be able to do that. And that's not true, because if you store that stuff in your password manager, somebody walking up to your computer can still do that. How impressed are we with the sender of this email at this moment? Then the second, Chrome is not a highly secure application, and there are many applications and websites that can strip your passwords from your browser. Well, that may be true, but what is wrong with this? Their subject line said, don't store passwords in your browser, but now they're picking on Chrome. Does this imply that Microsoft Edge is a highly secure application and it would be okay to store your passwords there, that you would not fall victim to the same thing about many applications and websites can strip your passwords, or Mozilla Firefox or Brave or any other browser? Why are they picking on Chrome here? I'm not too impressed with the way this company is communicating. They're saying this way. Now, then here's this next paragraph. We recommend using a professional grade password manager such as LastPass or 1Password. What is wrong with that statement? They're saying that LastPass is a professional grade password manager. Well, LastPass has a for business system and a for personal system. Are they saying that both of those options are professional grade? And how are you defining what professional grade is? Also, in March of 2023, after all the trouble that LastPass has gone through, is it really a good idea for you to be holding out LastPass as your first listing as a recommended password manager, right? We recommend. And LastPass is the first one they're recommending. Even if you're okay with LastPass, thinking that, well, they've been through the ringer, they've tightened up their security, they have probably the highest, most capable security now of any system. I'm not saying they do, but maybe because they've been through the ringer on this. And they've hired outside security experts, Mandiant, I think it's called. And they're probably very, very good now. But is that a good choice for you to be putting out in this email if you're trying to attract my business for security? There are some other holes in this. I think I went far enough on that. I just think somebody in the marketing department missed the ideal way to word that email. It might be as high as 125. Point is not 220 volts. And the thing that we'd be looking for there is when your air conditioner turns off, it's a fluctuation of voltage. So that's what the surge protector is not so much concerned about the level of voltage. I'm dealing with dementia. My dad currently, yesterday, he totally lost what was going on. It took about 3 minutes to get his back on track, or to get him back on track. So when I go upstairs to do something that I was determined when I was downstairs, I want to go upstairs and do something. I go upstairs and turn around my room and try to think, what was I going to do? What did I want to get? So if it takes less than 3 minutes, then I'm okay. If it takes more than 3 minutes, I'm bad. I bet that is just spam. I don't think it is spam, Chris. StorageGuardians.com. I believe this is completely legit. What they're trying to sell me is this DR run book. Now, it bothers me that they never identify what DR means. I'm sure it's a disaster recovery run book. So that in a disaster, you can activate your plan and everyone knows what they're doing. They're trying to sell me their structuring system for my clients. And they do know that I am a computer consultant, or they appear to know that. Now, spam. Well, no, we could call it spam because they're spam in the sense that it's advertising something they want me to buy. It's just, well, okay, it's not a hoax. It's not, what's that other word? It's not a scam. It's not a scam. A little bit of the dementia again. Seldom to dense. I understand European power lines indeed provide 220 or thereabouts. He's not in Europe. He's in Panama. Yep, that's correct. We are 122.20. I'm in Panama, plugged in a regular outlet, normal household electrical supply, 122.40. You may need to have an electrician. Check out your power panel. So I think I'm up to date. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Here's my email address. I didn't receive any questions by email. I didn't receive any questions in the comments on videos. So we just talked about the stuff that came along in the chat room today and those 2 emails that I got. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.